I know a spot.
Coming in at $900,000, you aren't just buying a Beaverton address. You're buying the 1963 version of the future. Now, for those of you who don't know, this isn't just a house. It's a Robert Rummer original. In 1963, Rummer looked at the California Eichler movement and decided to bring that high-end, glass-heavy design to Oregon. He basically dared to build homes for the Pacific Northwest that ignored the rain and invited the nature in. By 1963, the quote-unquote space age was in full swing. Here in the Portland suburbs like Beaverton, they were expanding rapidly to accommodate the engineers and professionals working at the newly founded Tektronix, which was pretty much the Intel of its day. When this home was built in 63, Beaverton was right at the frontier of the Silicon Forest, and this house was truly built for the early tech pioneers who wanted a home that felt just as futuristic as the technology that they were developing just down the road at Tektronix. Now, the true hallmark of a Rummer is that central atrium that we just walked through earlier. In the early 60s, the idea of having a garden inside the center of your house was considered radical and almost scandalous for Oregon's climate. In 63, the Rummer design was famous for the central atrium. It was a bold architectural move that really allowed you to have a garden in the dead center of your floor plan. And it really meant that even on the grayest Portland days, the heart of your home was still filled with that natural light. Another telltale sign of the Rummer style of builds is that they used a post and beam construction, which was a huge departure from the stick-built homes of the 40s and 50s. And this really allowed for those massive floor-to-ceiling windows because the walls weren't holding up the roof, the beams were. Because the beams were essentially doing all the heavy lifting, Rummer was able to replace entire walls with glass. And in 63, this was really the peak of residential engineering. It gives you all of these seamless views of the backyard from almost every single room. Since this home was essentially the pioneer of kind of the tech boom within the Portland area, especially Beaverton, now, Rummer really held that tech boom near and dear to his heart, and he ditched the chunky furnaces and the vents, and he ended up hiding the heating system in the concrete slab to keep the aesthetic clean. He was obsessed with that clean look, and so he put the heating in the floors. The radiant heating system was truly cutting edge back in 1963, and it meant you didn't have those ugly vents or radiators breaking up that mid-century design of those clean lines. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it and touring this beautiful home. I just love diving into the history of this outstanding architecture.